This is one of the busiest times of the year for Marquette Athletics, and we will cover all of the action for you tonight.
All your Golden Eagles action is coming up. Let's go. To the Golden Eagles Sports Report, I'm Mike Cianciolo.
And I'm Matt Trebby. The Marquette women's lacrosse team played their inaugural match last Friday against Winthrop. First game in program history celebrated for both teams. You can see a good mood for everybody involved in Rock Hill, South Carolina. Too bad Marquette couldn't build on that mood. They're down 5-0 when Lauren Hooker scores the first goal in program history. That's an answer to a trivia question in 5 years. After another Winthrop goal, Kenzie Brown, she responds, makes it 6-2 for Marquette. 8:45 left in the first at that point. Marquette couldn't keep the momentum going there. Claire Costanza, she makes it 15-3. Lauren Hooker then cuts inside again. She'll get her second of the game. Nicole Gleason, after Hooker's second, will get in and make it 15-5 right in front of the net. She'll put it away. And Costanza getting her second of the game, coming in behind the goal on the left side, 15-6. And then Gleason will cap what was a nice showing from Marquette at the end of the game. Gleason gets her second of the game. Final score 17-7. Winthrop wins. Hooker, Gleason, and Costanza all netting 2.
On Sunday, the women's lacrosse team picked up the program's first ever victory going up against Coastal Carolina. The match went into 2 overtimes as MU came out on top 12-11. Kenzie Brown found the net the most for Marquette, scoring 5 goals in the match. But it was freshman Haley Boss who netted the game winner a minute and 31 seconds into the second overtime. Let's hear now from Meredith Black on the team's first win.
It was the best feeling ever. I can't even describe to you in words how that felt. I was so excited. I think I ran onto the field and didn't even know what to do. I was just running around in circles with my arms in the air. But the best part about it was that the win was a complete team win. From bottom to top, every single person contributed in one way or the other or another, and we couldn't ask for anything better.
Marquette women's lacrosse hosts their first home game this Saturday at Valley Fields. The 1-1 Golden Eagles take on the 1-0 Duquesne Dukes in a noon matchup. Look for lots of scoring to come from MU's leader in goals, Kenzie Brown. And now we'll hear once more from head coach Meredith Black, this time on the team's first ever home matchup.
Duquesne is a well-coached team that, you know, they have a really strong midfield. So they're going to look to push the ball. They're really looking to move up the ranks in the national scene. So they're going to be a really solid team, and like I said, well coached. And they also have the advantage of playing outside in the colder weather. So I don't think, I think that's going to be a really tough weekend for us.
After going 2-2 in their 4 scrimmages this February, the men's lacrosse team is about to get their inaugural campaign underway as well. They open at Ohio State on Saturday afternoon in Columbus. Head coach Joe Amplo is excited to get the program's first game under its belt.
There's probably enough pressure and enough excitement for the guys just playing another opponent and playing Ohio State and all the things that brings. I don't think we have to remind the guys that this is the first game in the history of this program. They know it is. They're going to be excited. It's been a long time coming. We certainly appreciate the opportunity and are grateful that this group, myself, my staff, and the guys on this team have the opportunity to play in the first game for Marquette men's lacrosse. So I don't think we have to remind them too much about it.
Coming up after the break, we're talking men's basketball. Stay tuned. We're back, and so is the men's basketball team's winning streak. After falling to Georgetown in D.C., the Golden Eagles returned to home to take on the Pittsburgh Panthers. Saturday at the BMO Harris Bradley Center would be the last time Pittsburgh would be in Milwaukee as a member of the Big East. Starting the game off, Vanderblue drives past the Panther defense to get the nice lay-in, 2-0 Marquette. Then MU will find number 13 again on the wing for the jumper. That ties it up at 9 apiece. Jamil Wilson feeds Devontae Gardner down low, who draws the double team from Steven Adams and Talib Zana. Gardner finds Blue on the baseline for the open three, and he connects from behind the arc. That would give MU a 42-29 lead going into halftime. Even when the shots didn't count, Blue still converted. The bucket was waved off here, but Blue finished the game with 19 points. Swinging the ball around on offense, Junior Cadogan with the rock. He drives and finds Jamil Wilson, who soars up for the jam. Wilson wasn't done grabbing the rim just yet. On the fast break, Wilson drives, elevates, and throws home the dunk, nearly taking out Cadogan with his feet. The Golden Eagles take down the Pitt Panthers 79-69, improving to 9-3 in the Big East. Our own Sean Owens has the recap from Saturday's victory.
In what was their last regular season Big East meeting between Pittsburgh Panthers and Marquette basketball, as Pittsburgh leaves for the ACC, Marquette basketball played what was undoubtedly their most complete game of the season. Led by junior guard Vander Blue, the Golden Eagles were able to sequester any run by the Pittsburgh Panthers and maintain their home winning streak, advancing it to 23 games. The Golden Eagles defeated the Pittsburgh Panthers 79-69.
Chippy, both teams wanted to win. They obviously didn't want to get blown out, and we wanted to make sure that we established what we were going to do. We were going to win. So it got a little chippy, but that's just conference.
Marquette used this day to mark the 10-year anniversary of making it to the Final Four in 2003. Throughout the hotly contested game, the Golden Eagles were able to stay ahead of Pitt thanks to tremendous offensive production from Blue, Trent Lockett, Jamil Wilson, and Devontae Gardner. As Marquette remains atop the Big East, Coach Buzz Williams attributed the win to well-performed sequences.
We call our transition make or miss. We call it sequence. There's a sequence to what we're going to do on made shots, on missed shots. I thought our execution of sequence, our floor balance, what we call our offensive rebounders, our go-get guys, our guys that don't go get, our get-back guys, I thought we did that really well.
Once again, Blue led all scorers with 19 points, continuing his great success in his third season at Marquette. However, Williams praised Jamil Wilson for his knowledge of the game and admits that when he plays well, the Golden Eagles are a lot harder to guard.
But without Jamil's intellect to be able to go back and forth, we can't do it. And I thought at times today, what we were doing offensively and defensively with that big group, it's because of the consistency that Jamil was playing with.
This week, the Golden Eagles are on the road visiting Seton Hall Tuesday, then Villanova Saturday. Marquette returns to the BMO Harris Bradley Center to usher out yet another conference foe, Syracuse. Reporting from the BMO Harris Bradley Center, Sean Owens, MUTV Sports.
The Golden Eagles followed up with a win against Pitt with another victory on the road at Seton Hall on Tuesday night. The Golden Eagles used a 25-1 run in the second half to catapult themselves to a 76-46 win. Vander Blue led the way with 19 points, and Devontae Gardner scored 18, with 14 coming in the second half. Marquette improved to 10-3 in the Big East, moving into sole possession of first place, a half game ahead of Georgetown and Syracuse. For the latest on Buzz Williams' team, let's go over to Denny Gallagher and company for analysis.
Thanks, Trebby. I'm Denny Gallagher, alongside with Pat Leary and Beth Stein, and it's been a great week for Marquette basketball with convincing W's over Pitt and Seton Hall. However, they were tied with Seton Hall at the half. Does this team have the ability to play well outside of the Bradley Center?
I mean, I think they do, but as of late, not so much. This season, they're 3-5 in a way. I mean, they had a brutal loss to Florida early on, and then they had that OT loss to Cincinnati, Kentucky, Louisville. I mean, I think they have the ability to, but they just haven't been getting it done this season.
No, yeah, I agree. I think that they can play on the road, as they showed that second half against Seton Hall and the first half they had against South Florida. Both were really, really good performances. But I think against Seton Hall, you saw that first half where they were tied, as you said. They would have been behind against any decent team in the Big East. Seton Hall, one of the worst teams in the Big East, just 2-12 now this season. But they really dug themselves a hole and were tied in a game that they should have been ahead, as they were much better. They're much better than their opponents. But I will say that there's something about the Bradley Center that just makes Marquette play much tougher and much above to where they might be on the road. And the key always for playing on the road is starting well. If Marquette can start well, they have a great chance to win. The main problems in their road losses against, say, Georgetown, Louisville, Cincinnati, is that they didn't start well, got behind early, and couldn't dig out of the hole.
Well, as you said, the Bradley Center has been a magical place for Marquette basketball to play. Marquette currently holds the 4th longest win streak in the NCAA. However, Cuse comes to town on Monday in what will be the last time for a very long time. What do the Marquette Golden Eagles need to do to keep the 24-game winning streak alive?
I mean, the Orange have been playing so well this season, but I mean, as of lately, this week with that Pittsburgh game was unbelievable in the Bradley Center. That was awesome. And I just think we were coming off so much momentum that I really think we have a chance.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think that Marquette, if they can continue that sort of Bradley Center magic and that sort of some sort of mojo that has got them through this winning streak, I think they definitely have a chance against Syracuse. I think we've seen Syracuse be vulnerable at times, and Syracuse is another team with a home winning streak. They actually have the longest home winning streak in the NCAA, and so they have a similar thing at home that Marquette does in the Bradley Center. So with Syracuse traveling to the Bradley Center, I think Marquette has a legitimate shot to beat Syracuse, even though they may be the underdog. They'll have to deal with that 2-3 zone that Syracuse is just known for, though, and Marquette has sort of struggled against zone defense all this season.
Well, it'll be interesting to see how the next week plays out as we get closer to March Madness. Let's send it back to the guys at the desk.
The Marquette women's basketball team had 2 big games over the past week. We'll check in on Terry Mitchell's squad next. We're back here on the Golden Eagles Sports Report. Now we shift gears to the women Golden Eagles.
They were on the road last Wednesday in Ohio. The Lady Golden Eagles took on the Bearcats in Cincinnati. Brooklyn Pomeroy bringing the ball up the court. She finds Chelsea Butler, who dishes to Serena Simmons. Simmons hits Plouffe down low, and she'll post up and get the shot from the block to fall. Plouffe on the drive. She dumps it off to Simmons, who takes it into the paint and finds Arlesia Morris. She pumps fakes, frees up for the jumper, and connects from just inside the arc. Pomeroy pushing the break, passes it to Plouffe at the top of the key. She finds Simmons on the baseline and drains the shot. Nothing but nylon. Pomeroy to Simmons. She'll find Plouffe, who squares up and pops the deuce. Plouffe finished with 8 points. Morris on the wing gets it to Simmons to the right of the elbow. She squares up, shoots, knocks it down. The jumper falls for 2 of her 19 points. Cincinnati, however, survives at home and takes down Marquette 54-52.
On Sunday, the Golden Eagles hosted number 2 Notre Dame in their 8th annual Play for K breast cancer awareness game, sporting pink uniforms. Freshman Brooklyn Pomeroy hits the jumper to start off the game. MU up 2-0 early on. It was all Notre Dame, unfortunately, after that, though. Skylar Diggins, she gets the ball off the break. The All-American throws an alley. Jewel Lloyd provides the oop. Irish up 6-2. Diggins doing a bit more later here. She's driving into the lane. Little off balance, no problem for her. She gets it to go. Notre Dame in control later, then off the rebound. Notre Dame gets it to Diggins. She pushes the ball up court. She'll find Natalie Achanwa for another layup. It's 27-15 Notre Dame at that point. Last minute of the first half, Irish moving the ball well down low, finds Diggins, left corner, 4-3, 34-15 at the half. The Irish were ahead. Second half, more Diggins. She's making things happen. Finds Hannah Huffman underneath the basket for an easy deuce. Marquette down 65-33 with 8:20 left. They'd go on to lose 87-49. Diggins with 23 points, 7 assists as the Irish blow out Marquette. Let's send it over to Denny Gallagher to find out what went wrong for Terry Mitchell's team.
Sunday at the Al McGuire Center was a classic case of David versus Goliath, as the Marquette Golden Eagles welcomed the second-ranked Notre Dame Fighting Irish to the Al McGuire Center. The goal? Shut down guard Skylar Diggins. The result? She went for 23 points. However, the lone bright spot for the Golden Eagles was Serena Simmons, who went for 12 points and 6 rebounds, as Notre Dame came to town and swept the court 87-49.
We understand that this kind of game, if you want a chance against Notre Dame, you have to play your very best, and obviously we did not do that. They force you into not playing your best.
The Golden Eagles turned the ball over 11 times, leading to 24 fast break points, while on the other end, Marquette only had 2 fast break points.
Do we have moments? Few. They were outstanding. They out-rebounded us, forced us into turnovers. Skylar was Skylar, doing everything that she can do. Natalie was Natalie. I mean, they just have, there's a reason they're number 2.
Marquette honored cancer survivors before the game, while both schools honored cancer survivors by wearing pink jerseys during it.
what this event means, so important across this country, women's basketball and their initiative, Play for K, and raising awareness of how we can raise money against our fight against breast cancer. So we know that today's game is bigger than just a win or a loss.
The team looks to rebound Wednesday as St. John's comes to town. Reporting from the Al McGuire Center, Denny Gallagher, MUTV Sports.
We just heard from Denny at the Al. Now we're going to hear from him in the studio. Denny?
What can I say? I get around. Back here with Pat Leary and Beth Stein. I'm Denny Gallagher. Injuries have played a critical role in how this season has shaped out for the Lady Golden Eagles. But will short-term struggles lead to long-term success for the Golden Eagles?
I mean, I don't know. We have had a lot of injuries, but we have a pretty young team. It's mostly made up of freshmen and sophomores. And just like with Pomeroy that you said, she's, I think, only a freshman. She's been playing really well, getting a lot of time in. I know last game she played like 38 minutes. So, I think we have a bright future despite all these injuries.
Yeah, I agree. Pomeroy has been a real bright spot, especially when Minix got hurt. Everyone was wondering whether she'd be able to step up and fill in for Minix, who is one of the more experienced players on the entire team. But Pomeroy's been great. She's helped Marquette actually lower their turnover rate, even though it's still atrociously high. She's done a much better job keeping track of the ball than Minix did, and she's got a stronger scoring ability than Gabby ever showed us. So I really think that her playing this season will really benefit her in the long run. But as far as how they'll gain experience, they just have to keep playing and keep getting the young players as much time as possible.
Well, yeah, you definitely make a great point. I mean, anytime they can get critical experience against some of the top teams in the nation, that's never a bad thing. But Marquette women's basketball is now 4-8 in the Big East Conference and 12-13 overall. This is clearly not up to the Marquette Golden standards. What needs to change, guys?
Yeah, no, I mean, their offense is just really not been up to par. And we were just talking about the turnovers. They're averaging 20 turnovers a game. Definitely not very good. So we're definitely going to have to figure that out and just get the offense rolling, stop being so sloppy.
Yeah, absolutely. The turnovers need to go down. Turnovers are the #1 way to lose a basketball game. There's no doubt about that, no way to get around it. Hopefully that will continue to mend itself as Pomeroy gets more experience, though. But I think this is a team that still only has one senior, only one junior, besides the injured Courtney Thomas. So they really, if they keep playing and just, the only way the situation is gonna mend is if they get more experience and if they just keep playing, keep growing, keep dealing with the adversity of losing to really tough teams like Notre Dame, like UConn. That's the only way they're going to be able to improve.
Well, that's about all the time we have over here. Let's send back to Trebby.
Thanks, guys. We'll take our last break and be back with the latest on both track and field teams and the women's tennis team. Don't turn that dial. We'll be right back.
The Marquette men's track and field squad wrapped up competition at the 2013 Big East Conference Indoor Track and Field Championships Sunday afternoon at the Spire Institute in Geneva, Ohio. They notched an 11th place finish in the meet.
The women's track and field team finished 13th at the meet, their best finish since 2008. Marquette's best finishes came from freshman Tatiana Fishbin and junior Carly Shu, who both came in 5th in the high jump and long jump, respectively.
The men's tennis team traveled to Rochester, Minnesota Saturday to take on the number 44 Golden Gophers team. The Golden Eagles were in for a rough match against Minnesota. Dan Mamilat and Vukasin Tefanovic's doubles match went unfinished. Marquette struggled in doubles. Mamilat lost his singles match to Rock Bonin. Tefanovic was defeated 6-1 and 6-1 in his singles match. Gleb Skler and David Pakowitz would also be defeated, falling to their opponents 8-4 as Pakowitz looks on there. Skler was one of 2 MU players to pick up a point for the Golden Eagles. He and Cameron Tarani won their singles match, and the Golden Gophers topped the Golden Eagles 5-2. Women's tennis was a perfect 4-0 at home heading into the weekend.
They had a trio of matches at the Hellfair Tennis Stadium. The Golden Eagles hosted the 71st ranked DePaul Blue Demons. We'll start with Rocio Diaz and Allie Dawson taking on Patricia Fargas and Anna Vladutu of the Blue Demons. Dawson with a nice drop shot here. Later on, Diaz returned unfortunately setting up Latudu for the winner. Fargus then working MU's duo, getting another point at the net winner there. Diaz serving yet another one right up to Fargus, and she hits it straight to the wall. Another point for DePaul, but Marquette would not go away. Diaz serving now. Blue Demons hit it wide. Marquette takes that game, makes it 7-5. Golden Eagles couldn't finish the comeback, though. Dawson hits into the net. DePaul wins that one 8-5. They beat Marquette 6-1 in the team records.
Women's tennis kicked off Sunday's doubleheader at 9 a.m. taking on Ball State. Rocio Diaz and Allie Dawson taking on Courtney Wild and Courtney Ernest. Here they split the pair of Courtneys for the point. Then the serve is too hot to handle as Diaz and Dawson get another point. They took the doubles match 8-4 and helped MU get the overall doubles point. Vanessa Foltinger taking on Ashlyn Rang. The ball going back and forth until Rang can't get it over the net. Foltinger, she'll serve it here and she sends it back, and it's too much for Rang as she watches it go by. Vanessa wins the singles match 7-5 and 6-1. Erin Giebs matched up against Bethany Moore. She'll catch Moore off guard and slot the ball to the left of the court for a point. Giebs receives the serve and Moore gets nothing but net. Point Giebs. She'd win her singles match 6-2 and 6-4. MU takes the overall match against Ball State 5-2.
After beating Ball State, Golden Eagles would go on to dominate Valparaiso. Dawson and Diaz here again. They'll start off the action for us here on Sunday with the winner. And then we go on to Erin Giebs and Anna Pimienta. That's Pimienta with the winner, hitting that one too hard for Valpo. Then the Crusaders hitting one into the net here as Marquette gets another point from Dawson and Diaz. And we move on to singles action. Leia Hernandez-Soler going back and forth here. Nice volley going between her and her opponent. Too bad, Hernandez-Soler always going to get this one. A mean backhand coming right about now. That one will get her point. She eased through her match. Then Vanessa Foltinger getting another point here. Marquette would win 7-0 over Valpo, who only won 5 games in their 6 singles matches. Head coach Jody Bronson was happy with her team's performance over the weekend, as she should be.
We really tested the ability of our girls to see how fit they were, so I think we did very well in that area. I think we tried to come out in the second match and improve on a couple things that, you know, we were maybe a little disappointed in the first match. But overall, I mean, it's great to have 2 home wins and everybody got to play. So I feel like, you know, we got some really good benefits out of this weekend heading into the Wisconsin match.
We just heard from Coach Bronson talking about the run-up to the highly anticipated Marquette-Madison match. Welcome back to the panel with Pat Leary, Beth Stein. I'm Denny Gallagher. And guys, Coach Bronson's got to be feeling pretty good about her team winning 2 out of the last 3. What can we expect from Marquette against the Badgers?
Yeah, definitely a good feeling. But, I mean, like you said, they were at home, and now they have a bunch of away games in a row. They have like 5 away games. Going to be going all over the place. But, I mean, it'll be interesting to see how they play when they're away. I know that the Badgers, they're coming off a 2-game losing streak. We have the leadership of Foldinger and Giebs and Leia Hernandez-Soler, and you know, I don't know. I think we're gonna be okay.
Yeah, Wisconsin just 1-5 on the season. Not obviously very good, and Marquette has really been solid so far. They've had a lot of home games, but still 8-3 is nothing it's got to be proud of an 8-3 record so far. But again, the Madison, I don't know if there's the same rivalry that there is in other sports in tennis, but Anna Pimienta has been playing number 1, has been in the number 1 spot for the tennis team so far. And if she sets the tone, I think that will be an important start. And as I said about the basketball team, when you're on the road, it's important to start well. And so if they can get it started well, you should be able to finish it. And again, Madison just 1-5, kind of an inferior opponent.
The Marquette Golden Eagles start a road trip, which we will find out later about. Let's send it back to the guys at the desk.
Thank you, Denny. Men's basketball travels to Pennsylvania to take on the Villanova Wildcats this Saturday. Listen to the WMUR broadcast of the game on marquetteradio.org.
Meanwhile, that'll do it for the Golden Eagles Sports Report here tonight. For our analysts, Denny Gallagher, Beth Stein, Pat Lear, I'd like to thank Greg Eideren for his help tonight. My co-host, Michael Cianciolo, I'm Matt Trebby. Good night, Marquette.